on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. So we have been using iOS 17 Beta 8, watchOS 10 Beta 8 for the last week, and obviously today we are not expecting any other beta build because in traditional fashion, if they follow the script from the last prior years, the week between the last beta build and obviously the Apple event, there has not been a beta released. This is usually due to the point that next week on Tuesday, when we have the Apple event, we will actually be receiving the RC or release candidate build, which traditionally, if Apple doesn't update, is the final build that is deployed to the general public. So traditionally, this will come a couple of days before the iPhone 15 series and Watch 9 series, Apple Watch Ultra 2 series, all that stuff is released. So we're expecting the same this year. So instead of an obviously new beta build video, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a quick hands-on and walkthrough and impressions on how well Beta 8 has worked on our Apple Watch Ultra and our iPhone 14 Pro Max. So having said that, let's jump right into it. This will be a short, simple video today, just really giving you guys some feedback and thoughts on this build. Let's go. Okay, so jumping right into it, we have been using Beta 8 for iOS 17 for a week since it was released, and there are a couple of callouts for this. First things first, by no means is this completely polished and a perfect build. It is obviously still a beta. Yes, it's the 8th iteration into it at least, but like we talked about, if you jumped into the feedback app or you took a look in here, you'd see that for iOS and iPadOS Beta 8, there was a ton of resolved issues, but this is still not complete. There are still known issues here along the way, and again, I'm not going to go through them all. You can see everything that was kind of fixed, resolved, or that still remain, and yeah, you can see I'm still scrolling. Pretty extensive list of a lot of updates here. So, having said that, I can tell you it has been the smoothest, it has stayed the coolest, and I can also happily tell you battery life seems to have stabilized a little bit. Not like it's ideal, but for people that are experiencing massive battery drain and bad battery health like we have been, as you can see, 86% is what we're at our max capacity now. If you ever needed in a pinch to turn on low power mode, this has seemed to just barely drain the battery at all, even if you have that poor battery health. So this was a great find. Again, not ideal. You shouldn't need to throttle your device, but in a pinch, if you need it, happy to say that is working as advertised and has been a great asset to have on this build. Jumping through everything else, going into anything you might want to open, apps and all that, they have seemed to work as you would anticipate. Sometimes specifically random apps, and it could be on the developers to update it, but we've had issues like this that would just take longer than normal to need to reload and load themselves. But aside from that, everything has been very fluid. I have not seen a ton of dropped frame rates at all. Everything seems to be working as you would hope. Just obviously jumping in and out is perfectly fine. So again, let me pull the calendar up for you guys. As we've talked about, and as it's been somewhat confirmed at this point, we obviously have our Apple event next Tuesday on the 12th, and then we are expecting within that demo period, or shortly after, iOS 17 to be released to developers, watchOS 10 released, and all of the normal stuff. And then traditionally, the week after, we will get the actual build for everyone else. The RC will be obviously on the 12th, and the final build for the general public will be on the week of the 18th through the 22nd, with the 22nd being the most likely date for release for the new iPhone 15 series, Watch 9, and everything else like I was talking about. That should be our timeline, so you guys are aware. Now, moving on to watchOS 10 Beta 8, logging into this, I gotta tell you, this has been a pleasure to use. We have had no issues at all. We've done everything from tracking our walking or all our workouts in general, jumping around. Everything has been smooth, very fluid, as you can see here, and battery life also has been very, very good as well. Everything from the UI tweaks to the complete revamp on watchOS 10 yeah, it really does just work very, very well. We have had a couple of issues, again, on loading, kind of like you just saw there, but nothing crazy at all. So, happy to say that everything seems to be working as anticipated here. Everything from battery life to battery health still, if you followed our other videos, would know this was never hindered. It is great as it was prior. And yeah, if you guys have not taken part in the beta of either of these devices, you guys are in for a treat. I think you guys are going to love iOS 17 and watchOS 10. iOS 17 was obviously a much smaller update than what watchOS 10 was, but both of these have phenomenal changes that are going to make the devices, especially the next-gen devices, all the better. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Long story short, quick summary, they work good, right? So, as you would anticipate before the final RC is dropped for both of these, you'd hope to have these kind of feedbacks, and sure enough, that's what we got. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.